All right, good afternoon. Welcome to the Utopian Cafe. We've got a special guest today, Mitch Nelles, decked out in the Piggly Wiggly Buck swag. Now, Mitch, tell everyone about what you're wearing today. You talked about it on your show today. A Little Thunder, Monday through Friday, 7:30 on Facebook Live. But tell us about what you're wearing.
Thanks, Joey. Thanks for having me. Excited to be here in the cafe. So I was an original member of the Hoop Troop. The Hoop Troop are the interactive entertainers at the Bucks games who shoot the T-shirts into the crowd, and this was our original uniform. And I'm going to stand up to show everybody that that is a one-piece uniform. That is a onesie, if you will. I don't know what we called it back in 1997, but these were the colors. Terrell Brandon and Tyrone Hill and Big Dog were on the court, and we got after it.
Now, I have to ask you for the people that watch your show this morning. You explained you moved here in '90.
Yep.
But you were a Bucks fan even prior to that. You came to games in the '80s with your, I think it was your grandpa, right?
Yep. With my grandpa and my uncle. My uncle was a beer vendor at the old Mecca.
Yeah.
And my grandpa and I would go to games, and so I remember being at games where my uncle was, where they had beer vendors at they don't have beer vendors at NBA games anymore. That's just a baseball thing, but he was a beer vendor at the Mecca, and I remember being at a playoffs game. It was either a playoffs game or it was a late season game, like in '86, and the whole crowd was chanting "Barkley sucks, Barkley sucks" because the Sixers were in town, and I remember thinking to myself, I'm a kid from Boston. I hate Barkley. All these people hate Barkley. This is heaven.
Now, you made an announcement today that I admire a ton. You had tickets for tonight, and you decided you're going to watch the game at home with your family. I love it. I've always said, Mitch, that if the Browns host an AFC title game or if the Mets are in the World Series, that I want to be in those cities with people that have the same interest in me. And now, for the first time, I'm actually dating someone who would actually share those moments with me. You're going to be with your family tonight. I did some research on this. In the two previous championships that have been won in this city, 1957 Braves, they won it at Yankee Stadium. The 1971 Bucks won their championship in Baltimore.
That's
so
right.
If the Bucks win tonight, it'll be the first ever championship celebrated in Milwaukee. How special would tonight be? You have two daughters, you have a wife, they're all into it. Tell me what's on your mind as we're 5.5 hours away from game time.
I mean, first of all, we can't get ahead of ourselves.
No, I know.
Right? And you know that. You're a sports fan.
Sure.
You're absolutely right. In 1974, the Bucks had Game 7 at home and lost to the Celtics. And then when you look at, Marquette winning the championship, but that was in March Madness, so they were in Atlanta. And the Packers aren't exactly a Milwaukee team, though they've played a lot of games in Milwaukee, but their championship games have typically been in the Super Bowl, which are off-site. I mean, I just can't fathom. I can't fathom. I think about 80,000 people at the Deer District. 65,000 people in the Deer District, 16,000 more inside the building, and it just kind of blows my mind. It just kind of and again, if good things happen, and we are sports fans, so we know that good things don't always happen.
Sure.
And we are prepared for whatever's going to happen tonight. Good, bad, ugly, ecstatic, amazing, awful. All the above are on the table. Everything's on the table. And it's amazing to think about the possibilities. But that's what they are right now. They're just possibilities. They're not definites. They're not for sure. They're not anything like that. So I know there's a lot of people out there in Milwaukee right now who are looking on the results, and you cannot count the results in live sports. You just can't. And so I'm just hoping everybody is calm, is slowing their roll, and is ready for whatever might happen tonight.
Have you talked to your daughters, who, and I have no idea how old they are, but have you talked to them about uh, both possible scenarios, like uh, what's going to happen if you win, how the family's going to feel if we do lose? We go to a game 7, so it's not completely over. But I had young kids in 2015 when the Mets went to the World Series, and I had a tough time explaining to them the night after that they didn't get it done. But I had
Right.
prepared myself to have that conversation for about 2 months. Have you thought about what each of those conversations is going to feel like, either tonight celebrating a victory, or again the possibility of not getting it done? Have you thought about those conversations?
I have. My daughters are 11 and 8.5.
Yeah,
The 11-year-old, they're both big sports fans. The 11-year-old plays a lot of sports. The 8.5-year-old is just getting into playing sports. Um, and we've had those talks. You know, my kids actually leave tomorrow morning for overnight camp. And my older daughter was very concerned. If the Bucks lose tonight, she won't be able to watch Game 7, but she wanted to make sure she could find out the result. So
sure,
she said, "Dad, can you call camp and make sure they know that, like, to tell me when I wake up?" And I said, "Don't worry. It's in Eagle River. You're surrounded by Bucks fans. You
sure.
will know. You will find out what you know. They'll everyone will be talking about it." But I think to your point, you know, I mean, I remember we have very different memories of 1986.
We do.
Um, and I remember as a 10-year-old being crushed on my living room couch.
Sure,
And I'm sure you remember being one strike away and feeling like you were about to lose the World Series, and then the ecstasy of then winning the World Series.
absolutely.
Um, you know, we've also, you know, we lived through Brady versus the Packers. You know, after a family that has cheered for Tom Brady, we cheered against Tom Brady in the NFC Championship game last year. So we lived through what that meant, that the Packers were one win away from getting to the Super Bowl, and we're playing against Tom Brady, someone who we had always cheered for when he was on the Patriots. But then we realized we cheer for the team on the front of the jersey, not on the back, not the name on the back of the jersey.
Sure.
So they're ready. I mean, they know that nothing's guaranteed. They are not coming into this like there's no celebration. There's the option to stay up for the entire game. My 11-year-old can definitely stay for the whole game. My 8.5-year-old knows she can if she wants to, but she might go to sleep. She might be tired. Um, and we'll find out. Like we'll see. I remember. I mean, it's 10 plus years ago, but I remember holding my daughter when the Packers won the Super Bowl. I remember holding my daughter when the Bruins won the Stanley Cup. And then we've had a couple of Red Sox World Series to celebrate since then. As my, you know, you're a baseball polygamist with the Brewers and the Mets. I'm a true fan polygamist. Having grown up in Boston and living in Milwaukee for 31 years, I truly, but even when the Celtics were winning a championship, I mean, I never felt like this. And I think it's because I worked for the Bucks, and I think it's because the Bucks are in Milwaukee. Like as much as we rejoice when the Packers win, and that's a state thing, man, this is our team. Like this is like I worked for the team from '97 to 2001, but I've been going to games like you said, like since the Mecca.
Yeah,
You know, I was there when the Bradley Center opened, as you know, visiting my family, like still living in Boston, but visiting. You know, I've been buying tickets since I was a freshman. You know, since 1990, since I was a freshman in
yeah,
high school. I've been paying for my own tickets. I've been a season ticket holder for 4 seasons. I wanted to be a season ticket holder the last year in the Bradley Center, and then I've held season tickets every year in Fiserv Forum. It's it is unbelievable. I mean, it's amazing, and I know this is how you would feel if the Brewers were in it. But it's just we all need to rejoice and enjoy and understand that nothing is promised, and do our best to deal with disappointment, and do our best to deal with success, and and just soak it all in because it's. I mean, I'm like such a bundle of nerves right now. I could talk for 5 straight hours right now. I think just with all the energy that's going on.
I actually got that impression this morning watching your show because I think, normally you're about 12, 15 minutes. I think today you went like 22 minutes. And I can just tell, like, this is all you're thinking about. This is all that's on your mind. Now, I am not I'm not an NBA fan. It doesn't mean that I'm not rooting for the Bucks today. Of course, I'm rooting for the Bucks. I actually was an NBA fan from like '86 to 2001. Um, I don't want to get into the specifics as to what happened in 2001. I mean, I think you know what I might be talking about with some of the officiating, maybe that went on during that Sixers Bucks series. But I love the sport of basketball. It's probably, I mean, everyone thinks of me as a baseball guy, but playing basketball is one of my biggest passions. I coached basketball for a couple of years in Menominee Falls. The NCAA tournament is my favorite sporting event. I want to love the NBA. I want to like it. And watching these last couple series with Jersey, I think I watched the last couple games. I watched the entire Atlanta series, and I've watched this entire series. I mean, this is exciting because the people that I love are, this is their team. Like you,
Right.
Greg Maternowski, Andrew Pfeffer. I'm excited for you guys. Like, I want this to happen. Ironically, as a kid, Mitch, I never had season tickets, but we'd go to 2 or 3 games a year. And my favorite team as a kid outside of Milwaukee was Phoenix because I liked Barkley and I liked Kevin Johnson.
Joey,
Go ahead.
me too.
You like Phoenix?
So Boston was my favorite. Boston and Milwaukee were my two favorite teams, but my Western Conference team was always Phoenix, and it's
I
partly
loved
because
them.
they're purple, and I love the color purple. But it's also I loved Kevin Johnson, I loved Charles Barkley, I loved Marley, I loved that whole team.
Hornacek.
Hornacek
I'm
was
probably leaving out some players here, but every year I'd go to 2 Bucks games. I'd go to a division game, and it was usually Chicago or Cleveland, but I always hit the Phoenix game. I think I hit the Phoenix game, I want to say 10 straight years. Do you remember, I forget what year it was, the Bucks had won like 18 straight home games to start the season, and they lost to Phoenix.
Is that right? I don't
I think,
remember that, but that doesn't surprise me. I mean,
I
Phoenix,
think, yeah, I
the Bucks
think,
always struggled against Phoenix. They always did.
yeah, I forget what year it was. It had to have been like early 90s, maybe midnight. But I remember Greg and I were at that game. They were 18-0 at home, and I wasn't rooting for Phoenix, but I was like,
Right.
this is going to be fun because we always go to this game. So, the 12-year-old Joey would be going crazy right now for
Oh
this
yeah.
Bucks Sun series. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm watching the games. I've been enjoying it, but I definitely am excited for this because my mom was 17 years old when the Bucks won the championship, and I asked her what her memories are of that, and she said, the Brewers just became a team, and I was more of a baseball girl, so I was watching like a last place baseball team, and I don't really have many
Wow.
memories of that Bucks championship. But I'm going to post it later today. I have a picture of my dad when he was like 18, 19 years old, and he had a Bucks pennant in his bedroom. So I think I'm going to post
So
that later
cool.
today.
Yeah, please do. That's awesome.
2 questions I have. Number one, what are we eating tonight for the game? I think we're going to go with John's Pizzeria here in Grafton. And
Nice.
2, are you going live later tonight?
Um, Both really good questions. So because it's our kids' last night, one of our favorite family meals is Indian. So we've got the chana masala in the slow cooker right now.
Nice.
Um, we're gonna make some naan, and we'll have some other things to go along with it. And then during the game, we'll probably figure out some ice cream or some sort of snacks. But we're going chana masala and Indian just because it is a family favorite. Am I going live later?
Like again now.
Right.
I'm going to use the word if the Bucks
If good things
finish it off
happen,
tonight.
if good things happen,
If good things happen, will Mitch Nelles go live tonight on Facebook?
I assume I will, but I'm not sure. I might be so busy soaking it all in and taking all the media in that I'm not sure how much out I'm going to have. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I don't have a plan yet. I don't want a plan. I'm not making a plan. We will see. I might, if good things are happening with a minute or two left and we know the outcome at that point, I might just put up a live feed in my living room,
Nice.
just so I can keep it forever. Um, but I don't have a plan. I don't know. I don't want to know. I don't want to have
That's
a plan.
that's a fair answer. Now, last question I have, and then we've got a couple comments here. We've had some new members to the group in the last couple days. Tell everyone about A Little Thunder, Monday through Fridays at 7:30. Tell us about the show.
Yep. So I go live on Facebook. My Facebook page is Thunder MKE. So if you go to Thunder MKE and like it, that would be phenomenal. I would very much appreciate it. And I go live every Monday through Friday at 7:30 a.m. Central Time. I talk a lot of sports, but I also talk a lot of mental health. I talk a lot of physical health. I talk a lot of food. I do a lot of stream of consciousness, whatever's on my mind, whatever happened to me yesterday, whatever things I think are those types of ideas or concepts that bind us. So again, food's always a good one. I have two kids, so I end up talking about them a bunch, but not completely. So, because I also, we have lots of fans on the page who don't have kids or we don't have any dogs, but we have lots of dog lovers. So we end up talking about our pets a lot. Whatever's there to talk about, I want it to be a true community where people feel comfortable and welcome. And it's very interactive. I do Facebook Live because there's live comments coming in all the time. And I love that. I was on the radio for a long time, so I love that instant reaction. That's why I prefer that over podcasting. I probably should be more consistent with podcasting. But I just love doing it. I love having a voice. I love communicating. I love the back and forth. So Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. The Facebook page is Thunder MKE, all one word. Go check it out, and I would love for you to be a part of it.
All right. As soon as we're done today, I'm going to post a link so that you guys can follow Mitch. And again, the show is A Little Thunder every Monday through Friday, 7:30 Central on Facebook Live. Last thing, Mitch, do you want to make a prediction or you just want to enjoy it?
I just want to enjoy it. I've been making predictions this whole time. I predicted the Bucks would beat the Nets when they were down 2-0. I still predicted they beat the Nets. I wasn't really going out on a limb predicting they beat the Hawks. I'm not. I'm not predicting the finals. I just feel like I don't want to go there.
All right, that's fair enough. There is one comment I want to share. I think this is my sister. She says, I didn't know of this photo. Pretty cool. So I'm going to post that picture of my dad from 1971. Mitch, I want to thank you on short notice for coming on today. I loved hearing your story this morning about how you're going to share it with the family tonight. Enjoy the game. We'll have you on again soon. And for everyone watching tonight,
I'm rubbing all the logos for good luck.
All the logos. Again, it's Royals and Brewers at 3 o'clock, Suns and Bucks at 8 o'clock. I'm Joey. This was Mitch Nelles. We'll see you tomorrow, actually 7 a.m. tomorrow. Stan Phillips will be in the cafe. Everyone have a good night. Enjoy the game, Mitch. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks, Joey.
All right.